This past week, we were challenged with finding an online assessment tool that we use in our classrooms. Being more in the library than I am in the classroom, I don't do as much with assessments as I did when I was a full-time teacher. But one tool that I really enjoyed using all of the time was Socrative. Socrative is a great app and website that students can use for either summative or even formative evaluations based on what they're currently learning. So right now I'm currently in the teacher site where I can show you some of the quizzes that I've already created. Here's just some of the recent ones. But I do have plenty that I have done with my students and with adults alike. One of the quizzes here that I did was a fun one with the teacher convention where it was just 4 quick questions to display Socrative. But what I do like about it is you get the opportunity to choose how the assessment is shown to the students. So you can have it student-paced, so they receive immediate feedback as to whether or not they got questions right or wrong. You can choose student-paced, so then the questions pop up as the students submit the answers to the previous question. Or you can make it teacher-paced, in which the teacher dictates when you do the next question. You also have a huge manner of settings as to whether you want to disable names, so you can make it as more of a Google form almost in that sense, where you can get feedback from students. You can change your questions and answer order. You can hide the question feedback if they have any, or you can hide the final score. One thing I do really enjoy about this app is just the ease of actually creating quizzes. So when you go into quiz and you want to create, oops, I think I went to the wrong one. There we go. We can go into create a quiz. You name your quiz. You can choose between multiple choice, true or false, or short answer, which is really great to have. You can include pictures. You can pull pictures off of the internet or off of your laptop even, and just put them in for students to look at. And an example of that, if I go into my quizzes, one of the ones that I did with my students for provinces and capitals of Canada, they were shown a picture of the province with an arrow pointing to a particular province, and they had to choose which one was the right answer. What is interesting is this was a formative or a summative assessment. The students had the choice of doing this test either online through Socrative, or they could do it written, where they received a written copy of this test and they had to fill in the right answers. Where this one, they had to look at they had to look at the picture and then choose the right answer. Also, they had the choice of doing it online or the paper version. And it was interesting, it was a pretty split within the class as to whether they chose the online version or the paper version. But it was the exact same quiz. So it was really neat to see the kids really enjoyed doing it online as well. They thought it was kind of neat. And for me, I find the feedback is so much easier because it was much less correcting for me. You get to put in which is the right answer and it tallies it all for you. So it makes life a lot easier. Now, when you're doing a test, that is the nice thing, is because you can have immediate feedback. So I'm going to start the one that I used with at the teachers convention, and I'm going to sign in on my phone as a student. We're going to do it student-paced. I'm going to start the assessment. Now, this is the room number. The students simply download the app. They type in your room number, and you get to create your room number. So you can make it anything you want. I just used our school's phone number. And it's just asking me on my phone to type in my name. So it pops up. You have an opportunity to see the progress. My answer right now, or my first question, is on my phone. It's multiple choice. I need to choose the right answer. So I've made my first choice. I can see right away that I have a green answer, which means I got it right. My second question is up on my phone. I am going to deliberately choose a wrong answer. On my phone, it doesn't show that it's a wrong answer, but here it automatically comes up that I got it wrong. Question number 3, there is no right answer. It's just my opinion on how teaching today and what it is like. And I say D. Wait, what was the question again? I will submit that answer. And I will type in my last question was a short answer. And I'm going to type it in now. So where would I like to be at this particular moment? And I can hit finish quiz. It prompts me if I want to finish the quiz. Yes, I would. Everything is submitted. The teacher now has my answers. So she gets automatic feedback as to how the kids are answering. When I complete my quiz, there are 3 options for how I'd like to review this report. I could view it as a chart where I can show the names. Oops. Normally it lets me do that, but I didn't want to right now. There we go, show answers, show names, and it shows that I got 50% because only 2 of my answers were actually worth marks. If I go back to my reports, I can get a report, and I can choose the whole class Excel or the individual student's PDF or choose a specific question. Now, I can get those, download them, pops up in here. This is the Excel worksheet, which I find isn't overly nice to always work with. And if it would show up, that would be lovely as well. There we go. So here we have the answers. So it shows that I got the first question right, the second question I got wrong, the third question was the one I responded to, was not worth anything, and then where I'd like to be. Now, as you can tell, it's not overly the nicest setup, and I didn't really use Excel all that much with it. The second part of the download was the students, and it comes up as a PDF, and I can click it open. Here were the questions that were being used. 2 + 2 is 4. Which line, this is where I included a picture. Which line is longer? I said the bottom one. The obvious answer was equal. Then there was no marks for this one. There was no, I didn't assign a right answer. It was choose your best answer. Teaching today is like, and I quoted my children. Wait, what was the question again? And if I could be anywhere in the world right now, where would I be? In Riviera Maya, because it's supposed to get cold. So it's really nice to be able to get this. I can save this PDF, put it into a student's digital portfolio. They then have access to their exams or any assignments that they have done. The other nice thing that I do like with Socrative is when I go into my quizzes, one thing that I used to have my students do when I taught grade 8, they were responsible for creating quizzes on their own. I would give them access to my computer and my login. Well, I'd log in for them. And then they were responsible for creating a quiz that they would give to the students at the next class to just kind of review what we had learned in the previous classes. So they would be able to go in and create questions that they felt we should be reviewing. So this was a quiz that a student had done, and the kids just had to type in what the answer would be. If I go back, another quiz was down here. Matthew's quiz on math and stuff. He created the quiz based on questions, and then he made it into a multiple choice with given the right answers. It was a great way for the students to take charge in the classroom, to provide a bit of an assessment piece to their peers. They always had fun. They always wanted to be the ones to make the tests. But I did use it for so many applications within the classroom. It was a lot of fun and easy to use with the kids. It could go both ways. The cons to Socrative would be, for me, the fact that it is required, you need to have a device. The difference between Socrative and Kahoot that way is Kahoot's nicer because you can have groups of people working in a team to answer fast-paced, fun questions. Socrative I used more as an official tool, so every student was required to have a device. So really what I could do is launch the application or launch it twice if I had to do the quiz over a multiple of times because we didn't have enough devices for everyone to use. But really I had no other issues with this program because the setup for the teachers is incredibly easy. There is absolutely no logins necessary for students. It keeps track of all of my quizzes for me, so anything I've used in the past I can use in the future. I can download and record all of the assessment pieces that I use and keep them on file, share them on Google Classroom, do whatever it is that I need to do with them. If I wanted to print them off, I could print them off and send them home. But it's just so easy to manage. You can manage more than one room if you really wanted to. I'm not sure why you would, but you might want to. It gives you the possibility for different types of reports that you could have. I didn't archive any of my previous ones, which means that I don't have access to past results that I would have had. And this, to me, has been a great tool to use in the classroom because I can keep that information on track, much like unlike Kahoot, where you can get the report, but it's just so fast-paced and it's timed and there's a lot of stress involved. This, you can make it student-paced, so they work at it at the pace that they want to go at, or you can make it at your own pace, but it's not as stressful. Kahoot is more fun. This is more of a formal evaluation piece that you can do. So this is Socrative. I hope you give it a try. The apps are free. This is free. There is a pro version which allows you to archive more of your results in special places, and there's a couple of other hot buttons that you can have. I find they're not necessary. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thanks, everyone.